everyone. Welcome to Mining Now. I'm your host, Jerrod Downey. Today we have Maptek on the show. We have two guests from Maptek. Eduardo Coloma, he's the CEO, and we have Rob Hardman. He's the president and general manager of North America. So we're going to cover some ground here today with Maptek. We're going to start off with Eduardo. Eduardo, welcome to Mining Now. Good to have you on.
Thank you for having us.
Where are you based out of?
In Australia, Perth.
And is that head office as well?
No, the head office is in South Australia, in Adelaide, but I am working from Perth.
Where is what's sort of the setup? I know you have team in Canada, the US, it's sort of a global footprint. Can you give us sort of a snapshot of that?
That's right. So we got 16 locations around the world. We are more than 400 employees, and we divided by different regions. And the Australian regions, or the APAC regions, has 5 different offices across Australia. And then we got offices in North America, which include US and Canada. We got offices in Mexico. We got offices in South America, which is Chile, Brazil, and Peru, in South Africa, and in Europe as well.
What's sort of the benefit? I mean, of course, it's reach and scalability and all those things, but what gives you sort of an edge having that particular setup that you do?
I guess the important thing is that you can actually really understand the local culture.
Yeah.
And then you can extract from that knowledge and see how you can apply that one across all the product that we are trying to develop.
During COVID, did that give you an advantage as well because you had those teams already set up?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. The ability to, be close with the customer under those conditions was really a good thing for us.
You're right. Where, we're getting to sort of the global perspective quite quickly, but where is your sort of markets are you looking into now? Where would you like to see yourself be stronger?
Look, one of the biggest advantage of Maptek is that we are covering the whole mine value chain, from exploration to rehabilitation. So we got a lot of tools associated with that, a lot of product, which provide a lot of benefit for our customer too, because we can be one of the software provider that can help them to, get the value that they want to get from, with our product. So I guess that's the advantage, to have a very good footprint around the world. And we certainly continue to looking for new areas where we want to grow.
Yeah. Where did the company actually start?
So Maptek is an Australian privately owned company. We start back in 1981, so we got more than 40 years development software. And hardware, actually, our hardware and software solutions are suitable for any data, any mining types or commodity. The key or the role of our solution is basically help miners to translate the technical data that they are getting from different sources, processes across the mine value chain into knowledge, to be able to make better decisions and safer decisions as well.
So when you say that means because in mines now, the data is coming in from so many different sources. So you're actually helping them kind of make sense of all, or bring it together? How do you sort of break it down for a customer?
Initially, I must admit that we create a lot of that data, and so
you're creating the data as well?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So one of our first product, which is Vulcan, is creating a lot of what we call technical service data. And from there, that data become available across the organization, and then you can actually use that data to, for example, quantify how much is the material that you have in there, what is the quality, how you're going to mine it, and so on. So we create a lot of data. But obviously now, as you mentioned, with a lot of sensors that you got around, the amount of data is huge, right? Yeah. And with big data, big problems. So what we're trying to do now is, okay, recognize that you are one actor of this value chain.
Right.
And as such, you really need to identify how you're going to help miners to, enable to make better decisions. So essentially, with the huge amount of data that we are getting, we need to find a way how we can store that data in such a way that people can actually use it in a very efficient way. And that's because all our effort at the moment is concentrating use the cloud, for example, in order to speed it up the calculation and spin multiple machines out there and do the calculation in a very timely fashion. Obviously, this allows people to focus on what is important for them, which is, the result of the data more than the noise created by the data.
Right. Yeah. I do. Yeah.
Let's talk about our heavy industry tour brought to you by Savannah Equipment, supplying mining equipment worldwide, and Corporate Traveler Canada, helping companies travel the globe simpler, faster, and easier. We are heading to events across North America, Africa, and Australia, and filming episodes on location. Email us at info@crownsman.com to be part of Crownsman's Heavy Industry World Tour. DMF Filtration is the ideal partner in solid liquid separation. Headquarter and manufacturing facilities in Italy with over 6,000 installations all over the world, DMF Filtration takes you beyond the boundaries of innovation thanks to the wide range of filter press models and thickeners available within the product portfolio. The launch of Domino, the largest filter press in the world, and AIDA, the system tutor providing real-time connection with the company, are only the latest achievements for this group, which is committed to continuous improvement. You can visit them at dmffiltration.com to learn more. Sustainable mining of natural resources is a cornerstone for our standard of living and prosperity. It plays a critical role in construction, power generation, and commodities. Mined metals and minerals contribute to green technologies like wind turbines, solar panels, and electric vehicles. As part of the effort to counter climate change, more and more mined metals and minerals are explored for extracted, transported, and processed according to quality control processes that deliver safe and high-quality products. Anton Par provides a wide array of instruments which contribute to every step of this development and production chain while playing a positive, sustainable, and responsible economic role in society. Visit anton-par.com to learn more. Anton Par, together we measure the world. At OIM Consulting, they drive profitability by building your supervisory capability. They equip the people who carry your culture, engage your teams, and ensure that daily targets are achieved. If you want measurable operational results, visit oimconsulting.com. Analyze, improve, sustain.
You mentioned it's Vulcan is the one of your primary products or lines, right?
That's the first one actually,
Right.
And that's how
the first one is in the first product developed, or like your top product.
that was the first product that we developed back in the 80s, really.
Wow.
And it's been since then, a very, very strong position or player in the market actually.
And how is it? So, what data is it sourcing? What's it sort of? What is it?
Well, the story around Vulcan is quite interesting because how we start. We were in a small dedicated geological database service firm, I guess, back in 1981, and what we saw there is the opportunity to see how we can actually automate some of the tasks for geologists. By then, geologists were struggling really with the repetitive and time-consuming task of actually coloring, hand coloring maps. And rather than to spend the time associated with analyzing or interpreting the data.
Yes.
So Maptek saw an opportunity in that we can improve that one, and that's where we basically had the opportunity to put digital tools directly in the hands of the geologists, and that was revolutionary by then, and from that point forward create the foundation for what is today Vulcan. So Vulcan has the ability to model the data. When you are actually doing an exploration campaign, you are getting drilling information. All that information can be integrated to our product, and then you can model that one. You can identify the size, the quality, and so on. So
how long have you been with Maptek?
Probably around 23 years already.
23 years.
Yeah, since 1998, I started in South America, in Chile in particular. And from there, we open and we continue growing South American market through Peru and Brazil. And then back in 2012, I head basically to Australia. There is an opportunity there. I took it, and I've been there since then.
And when did you become CEO?
I became CEO in November 2019, just before COVID.
Oh, that's a great time.
It is. Look, the reality is really good. For me, it was excellent timing because all the challenges that you're going to face with those kind of things are unique.
Yeah.
And be in that position allow you to really learn and trying to, accomplish the mission that you really need to do. So that was great.
What are your strengths in the role as CEO?
I guess one of my strengths is that I am mining engineer, so I am very technical, and I had the opportunity to move through the organization through multiple roles. I started in the company as a technical service people, providing support, training, and consultancy to our customer. From there, I start to move to a more marketing kind of role, commercial role, product management role and
do
so
that
on.
outward facing as
That's
well.
right.
Yeah.
So essentially, I got a pretty good background, of the company in general, and I guess that's probably one of the biggest advantage for me in that role.
And where, actually, I'll ask you a two-part question. What has been sort of the biggest evolution you've seen over those 23 years with you being with the company, and what is the next? What would you like to accomplish in the next 5 years?
I guess one of the good things over these 23 years is how the technology is moving forward, particularly in mining. How mining is actually is adopting the new technology. That's really important. I guess from my point of view, the ability to be engaged with the technology from different angles is one of the things that excite me most. For the future, I think again, trends, you probably heard about ChatGPT kind of things, and everyone
use it. Yeah.
everyone is talking about the AI. Well, we also using AI for what we do, right? So we are using AI for trying to apply that machine learning algorithms to come out with a different representation of the geological modeling. And obviously, we don't have all the media that ChatGPT have at the moment, but we are delivering value where we really need to deliver value, which is with our customers.
Right. This last question to you is just on the carbon footprint side. What's sort of the value proposition to your customers when you're having that discussion, which is a huge topic right now?
So for us, is key to understand who we are, what we stand for, and where we're going. And I guess the important thing is that we firmly believe that we need to enable miners to make better decisions. And as such, all our efforts are very focused on trying to develop integrated decision support capability that allow customer to turn data into knowledge.
Right.
And I think that's the value proposition today. We've been more than 40 years in the market. We got customer around the whole spectrum from tier 1, mid-tier exploration company. We've been solutions that are being proven over these 40 years in production environment without major issues. So I think that is probably the value proposition that we obviously talk with our customer. And we are one of the better, we are one of the preferred providers for that.
Right. Eduardo, thank you very much. We're going to get Rob here on for a second and talk to him a little bit about sort of community engagement, company culture, and I think some product line as well.
Excellent.
So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Rob, welcome to the show. Good to have you on.
Great to be here.
Eduardo already gave us sort of some company scope stuff. We had a good discussion with him. In the second half of the interview, I want to talk a little bit about culture, community, partnerships with the university. You cover a lot of ground. So your role is president and general manager in North America. So can you first just tell us what that involves?
Yeah, that's really servicing all of the mining industry in U.S. and Canada. Mexico was included in that, but they've had a lot of success over the last several years. So we spun them off into their own region. And, we've been able to bring on a lot of young, talented people the last couple of years here with Maptek, really based from all over the world, but really servicing and serving our clients and the market in North America.
Yeah, and Eduardo mentioned too that localized approach too, that you're able to understand the market on a local level, not just on a global scale.
Yeah, mining, probably like a lot of other industries, but maybe even a little more so, has its uniquenesses, by region, by mining area. And so really understanding, what's going on in those different areas with the clients, what their challenges are, those sorts of things, that localized, regionalized knowledge, really helps us to make a difference.
So when you talk, I want to shift a little bit into company culture. What do you see as what makes a vibrant company culture?
Yeah, a great question, by the way, because, I've been seeing more and more articles over the last several years that talk about how company culture really does make a tangible, measurable influence, on results. For us at Maptek, I think the most foundational thing that we've done is to really authentically value our employees, not just as, words on a mission statement or something like that, but to authentically value them. And, we've tried to build this culture, in that way, not through just, tangible, maybe practical things like having great benefits, which we do. We've made that an emphasis. But I think it's more, foundational things. Like creating an atmosphere that's conducive to really performing well and working well. for us in our industry, as you can imagine, because the highly technical nature of it, our teams have to work together really well.
Yeah.
And so we really have emphasized a culture of collaboration, of working together, and what I call positive accountability. That we're positive, we work really well together, but we hold each other accountable. And if you've ever played on a sports team, there's just that natural accountability, right? Hey, I need to know that you've got this part covered, I've got this part covered. And when there is that, and we have to rely on each other, it produces that, hey, we own this, we've got this, and my teammates relying on me, the clients relying on me to come through here. And so I think that's really helped us produce the kind of culture that we want. And one other thing I should mention there is just finding the right people. I think positive culture is really influenced by people finding meaning in their work.
Yeah.
And if you have the right people on board, I think that can happen more. For instance, again, in the mining industry, for us in technology, we want smart, talented mining engineers, geologists, software engineers, et cetera, who really love what they do. And when we have that and we could create a great atmosphere where they can work together, that really helps produce that.
North Isle's mission is to be Canada's leading sustainable resource company and is on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol NCX. North Isle owns the North Island Project, the most developable copper-gold project in Canada. The North Island Project has compelling project economics, is near infrastructure, has tremendous exploration upside, and has leading-edge Indigenous engagement and support from all levels of government. 2023 could be the biggest year yet. Learn more by visiting northisle.ca or by calling them at 778-638-2515 or emailing them at info@northisle.ca. The CIM 2023 Convention and Expo is coming to Montreal from April 30th to May 3rd. So join us in recognizing your peers at the annual CIM Awards Gala. This year is extra special because CIM is celebrating its 125th anniversary. There will be special programming and perks for exhibitors and attendees alike. Registration is now open and tickets sell out fast, so visit CIM.org to register now for short courses and explore sponsorship opportunities. Introducing the SolarSet Fold. The new foldable frame solar system brings power to your residential and commercial property and can be shipped worldwide. Like all SolarSet products, the SolarSet Fold comes turnkey, pre-assembled, and is easily transported and installed. Learn more about SolarSet Fold and their full line of amazing solar systems at solarset.com.
One thing that came to my mind when you were saying that is, if I walk around and I talk to people, it's all there. It's hard to find good people now. By good people, I don't mean decent people. I mean people with the training, the skill sets to do it. But then when you're trying to create a company culture with labor shortage, skilled labor shortage, that's a tricky thing because you need people. I would assume you need very highly skilled people as you're trying to create a large workforce. So how do you approach that and keep the company culture?
Yeah, it can be challenging at times. But again, I think if you find the right people, not only skill set wise, but attitude wise, right? And that's something that we look at when we hire on at Maptek is, just kind of, does this person kind of a can-do person who works well with others? Yeah. Not just talented in their discipline. And so finding that both of those things in the person is something we really emphasize and work hard to. Now, to your point, though, I've talked to multiple VPs of the major global mining companies, and there's a consensus that one of the biggest, if not the biggest challenge facing mining and mining technology is finding a skilled labor force.
And now the customer, the culture of outward facing to the customer, that's another tricky one. And so how do you sort of approach that as a team?
Yeah. Again, I alluded to it earlier, but you can imagine with the complexity of these technical solutions that it can be challenging to work with the clients, to define what the issue is, what their real pain point is, what's really going to bring them value, not just from a technical point of view, but from a business point of view as well. Yeah. Right. And then scale that in, for our organization, Maptek, throughout Maptek, to bring in the right people with the right disciplines. You may, for instance, there may be a certain region, maybe it's hard rock metals in the American Southwest, or maybe it's, something else in some other part of a region or a company. So we have to, figure out internally who are our most experienced people who are familiar with this type of mining, both from an engineering point of view, a geological point of view, a software engineering point of view, kind of assemble that internal team to then engage with the client to really understand their issue and problem. And sometimes we have the experience and we understand to a certain degree, but mining is fickle in that, you know, it's many times each unique mine has its own unique geology that it has to go around. It's patented out, and then accordingly their mining methods. And so much has to be customized.
Government regulations, the local relationship, and just on and on. Yeah.
Right point of view. Yeah. Not just from a technical point of view.
Yeah.
So all those things we have to try to navigate, do the best job we possibly can internally, put the right people with the client to solve their issues.
So from my perspective, I'm starting to learn about Maptek now. You have a sort of a community approach as well. Can you talk a little bit about that? I also want to talk about university development, that sort of thing. So, but community side first. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there are many ways that a company like Maptek can be involved in the community, and we are involved in some of those ways, you know, community fundraisers and, you know, cleanups and things like that that are important, just being a part of where we live. Right. But, you know, recently we've really gotten in touch with who are we at a core and where can we make the most difference. And as a technical mining company that provides values, or a mining service company, we recognize that we can have a big influence on, you know, young people, whether it's high school students. We have a lot of people who volunteer time, you know, like in robotics clubs at STEM schools across North America. But also one of the main things that we do is with universities. You know, but before I go into that, let me just mention we've done quite a bit with some of the mining museums across North America as well. We've donated laser scanners. And one of the things I realized is that people go into those mining museums and mining Hall of Fame as well, and they see a bunch of pictures of, you know, people probably who are long gone by now with pickaxes, and they think mining is a bunch of older guys with pickaxes. Yeah. Furthest thing from the truth, right? If you understand what mining really is, mining is full of cutting edge technology.
I've never actually thought of that, because if you went into, let's say, the Hockey Hall of Fame, the hockey is all still the same. There's a few, you know, maybe they're wearing helmets and now, you know, not all that kind of stuff, but the principles of it, whereas mining, completely different.
It is. And, you know, as we mentioned before, you know, a big challenge to the mining industry is skilled labor force. And there are a lot of young people out
those
there,
people.
Yeah, who are into technology, you know, whether it's machine learning, AI, you know, all sorts of things like that. But they don't understand that those things are bleeding cutting edge of technology. And when you go on a mine, I mean, look at our background here. You know, these are point clouds taken with laser scanners. You know, this is how mining is done. So with some of these museums, we're working with them. Again, we've donated some laser scanners, and we're trying to work with them to show what modern mining is actually like, so that when young people or even old people like come through, they're like, wow, I mean, look at how they mine today. Look at all the technology. It's not about, you know, that's actually would be an interesting field to go into. Yeah. The other aspect I should mention is there's a perception, right? There can be in our society a very negative perception of mining. And really the mining industry, and me as a part of it, have to own up to some of the mistakes that have been made, environmental impacts that have been made. But there is obviously a path that we have now to a more responsible mining. Even when you think of the economy in a macro sense is shifting towards more renewable energy sources. And I think that shift is going to take decades. Well, you know, as you may know, or as some people may know or may not know, you know, we have to mine to get the materials for those renewable sources, whether it be, you know, solar panels, windmills, all those materials have to be mined, and we need to mine them responsibly. So I think there's a perception out there that as Maptek, we want to be able to address as well, to show people the fundamental nature of our society that mining plays, even as we move towards this energy transition.
The universities, what's that type of collaboration are you doing with them?
Yeah, so for quite a while, we've had a program with universities. And again, this blends in what I was saying earlier. You know, university students have an opportunity to step into an industry like this and really utilize their skills. So, you know, we provide free software licenses, training on those things, laser scanners to universities, summer programs where we, you know, sponsor mining games. We do a lot of things like that. So, you know, just imagine a university student coming out and graduating, having had a couple years of experience using cutting edge, technology like Maptek provides, it gives them a big advantage coming into the marketplace.
Earlier you mentioned Hall of Fame. Is that like an internal thing?
No, that is an external thing. Many years back, we recognized that there are a lot of people in the mining industry who have made significant contributions to the industry and really impacted people within Maptek as well. We thought, we need to do something to honor some of those folks. So really, we started this concept and executed of a Maptek Hall of Fame, where it's really based on two things. One, contribution to the mining industry in general, and two, contribution to making Maptek products better. Sometimes those are hard conversations, right? With leading people. And they're like, yeah, your solutions are good here, but they really need to improve here.
Right.
You guys have some work to do. And those, we need that sort of interaction and feedback.
We all need it.
Yes.
Yeah.
My wife tells me that too. So, but we need that to get better. So the Hall of Fame really recognizes a handful of people in those two distinct ways.
Before we wrap up the interview, any products that you want to highlight or a solution? Just we talked in some broad terms. Anything specific?
Yeah, I think the main one I can highlight now that's really gaining a lot of traction in the North American market, really globally too, that I think is really important is a product called Sentry. Maptek was the first technology company that took LiDAR and applied it to mining. LiDAR back, 15, 20 years ago was really a military technology. And so we've taken that as part of our laser scanners. And then, years after that, developed this product that really is about monitoring. Anyone that's been to a mine, let's say a large open pit mine, or even seen a video or a picture of it, can see, wow, that looks like it's pretty cool, but it's pretty dangerous. And mining companies constantly are having to get more aggressive with the angle of the slopes because every degree angle. Sorry,
yeah, that's okay.
You could.
It's the end of the day. We're allowed to stumble.
I'm ready for the beer cart there.
What is that?
But the steeper they can get the walls, right, the more ore they can get out of the ground, which has a huge financial impact. So that puts a lot of pressure. So Sentry was really developed to monitor, benches, walls, high walls, ramps, everything, right, to see if there are any issues there. So, slope stability has a real impact on risk, and therefore safety in open pit mines. The better our understanding of slope stability, the better placed we are to design and build safe operations for protecting, mining personnel, equipment, and really the environment as well. I'd mentioned earlier that Maptek was the first to commercialize mobile laser-based approach to slope stability monitoring with Sentry. It can be deployed to monitor mine surfaces, as I said, such as walls, slopes, benches, ramps, but also underground convergence and subsidence. So, Sentry is different from some of the other monitoring systems, and we take pride in that. It's unique in that it uses LiDAR data in a point cloud context, providing more of a 3D contextual, recording of movement. So geotech and survey teams tell us that Sentry gives them a level of flexibility they simply haven't had before, along with, rapid and simple access to in-depth geotech insights that give them kind of safe monitoring, as well as, design conformance. Speaking of design conformance, pit and shift operators or supervisors can access conformance information through their mobile devices, creating what's really kind of a near real-time decision support and quality control system. Adjustments can be made before problems arise to ensure efficient overburden removal, for example, and maximum mineral recovery. Empirical databases can be used to predict slope behaviors for a design, which then informs safety mechanisms and design rules. So with Sentry, there's significantly less need to access working areas by foot. The high level of detail and accuracy, measurement accuracy of modern survey technologies like Sentry kind of help ensure like wall design batter angles are met and any non-conformities are managed earlier on. So to sum up, Sentry's a laser-based hardware and software system that really combines a true 3D measurement with 3D photography and visualization and analysis tools, really from a customer's point of view for strategic risk management of surface movements. So geotechnical staff can gain insights from time-lapse footage to predict movement through back analysis and through heat maps colored by displacement or velocity. So, these really provide an overview of movement that can lead to failures such as landslides, rockfall, and subsidence. And that is where Sentry really has the most value for our clients.
Rob, I don't think there's a better place to end it than right there. So thank you very much, and hopefully we'll do it again sometime.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Take care. And thank you, everybody, for watching. That is Maptek. Of course, we'll have plenty of links in the description, and we'll be tagging them on LinkedIn. So connect with Eduardo or Rob. We will see you on the next episode of Mining Now.